Hei, velkommen tilbake igjen til Sparringpodden med Helge. Today, I think I will need to do this in English because today I've been so lucky to have an amazing guest on my podcast. Welcome, Amanda.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I am great. I'm excited to be here. I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful day. It's kind of on the chillier side.
Where are you right now?
I am outside. I'm a couple of hours outside of Austin, Texas, which is where I live. And at this beautiful place next to this river. My boyfriend lives in an Airstream. And so we are hanging out here for some quarantine nature time because we can't see anyone anyway.
Yeah. So I kind of found you. Well, you weren't lost, but I discovered you in my little world listening to Social Media Examiner podcast. And you do video marketing for companies, small, medium, big companies. What would you say?
Yeah, so for 6 years, I ran a video marketing company where I was actually like the one behind the camera, filming them, editing them, hiring subcontractors to kind of be able to do it more, turn out even more content. But during that time, I was, kind of like you, obsessed with getting my clients results.
Yeah.
And I would want to create these videos for them. And then over and over again, what kept happening was they would post the video, but not really have a strategy behind getting it out into the world. Yeah. So it would kind of sit on this digital shelf and just kind of collect dust to a certain extent on YouTube for like 10 views, for example, or something like that. So it was eating me up inside that, this work that I'm like pouring my heart into is not actually getting seen. And so I became obsessed with digital marketing and determining how do I actually get these videos seen? How do I actually get results for my clients? And as I continued doing that, I would kind of take something that I learned from marketing and I would apply it to my video world. And I'd continuously do that and test tons of different approaches to really figure out what worked and what didn't work. And really what it came down to is the videos that converted the best were simple videos, talking head videos, straight to camera. And it's like, I was filming these videos for people because they worked, but they were paying me thousands and thousands of dollars to do that. And it just started feeling immoral to a certain extent.
Well, have you heard the saying that if it takes me 10 years to learn to do something in 10 minutes, you're not paying for the 10 minutes, you're actually paying for the 10 previous years? So
it's absolutely true. And it was also, though, there was two sides of it. There was that side where they were paying so much money, and in order to make it consistent, it was going to cost a lot. And very, very few people were willing to pay that to be consistent. And then on the flip side, I wasn't trying to like create talking head videos all the time, right? Like I have more skills to be able to give. So I realized as I was working with different people that there was this massive opportunity to, as a newbie to a certain extent, no online presence, to kind of hop up and start creating my own online presence by using the strategies that I knew would work, which is consistent video content. So in 2018, in June 2018, I started my YouTube channel. And I'm 2 videos away from 100 videos being released.
Nice.
I've stopped doing video production, and I focus 100% of my effort on helping business owners and entrepreneurs actually use video to grow their brands on their own. So learning how to do it, leveraging outsourcers to be able to edit, and I'm focused on cracking that code.
So you you went from a video production company to an educational company, basically.
Yep, I definitely got into the whole like e-learning space. the other reason why I did that is because eventually I would like to be a mom and be able to like stay at home with the kids and still continue pursuing my career.
Yeah.
And that is a much better industry to be in than an agency life.
Yeah. Education is quite nice if you manage to do it in a good way, and you have you have different kinds of courses, like from total newbie to getting your things up and running. What would you say would be the most important, like if you could just not give away everything, but some small points to the people.
Totally.
Yeah,
How do you get started, right?
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
question everyone wants to know.
That's the most difficult thing to actually do it, to get started.
Yeah, I think everyone deals with these blocks that it's, and I'm sure you dealt with this before you were like wanting to get on air and make this thing happen. But it's like the first step is overcoming your self-doubt and believing that you have a voice to share with the world. And I
Hmm.
know, like, what people probably want to hear is just shoot on your iPhone and you can edit there. But like, if we focus so much on the technical side of things, then no one's actually going to be able to get started, right? So
Hmm.
I think it's really all about looking internally, reflecting on your story and seeing the kind of wins that you've had along the way, and start to pick up upon the patterns that are continuously repeating themselves throughout your story. And from there, recognize that you do have something valuable to share, and kind of just start with a general topic. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be a super defined strategy. It just has to be, this is kind of the topic I want to talk about. And
Yeah.
then you choose a couple of how to topics within that you have mastered that you can teach people. And then you get those videos. Like, this is now, I guess, the big picture, but then you actually shoot on your iPhone, shoot on any materials that you have available to you.
Hmm.
And then you put them on YouTube and make those videos keyword rich videos with the title and the tags and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And from there, you'll slowly be getting people showing up, finding you, and you'll just naturally kind of grow this online presence of people that believe what you believe. They're interested in things that you're interested in. And you can kind of go from there wherever you want to take it. So that's my fast overview.
Just a fast question from Ogsons on Twitch. Are you camping? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, she is.
I am. I don't know if you can see. Here's the
It looks quite
Airstream.
nice.
Yeah, if you could see the water, I think you'd really love it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, for everyone that's watching live right now, you're welcome to ask questions to me or Amanda, and we'll try to answer as best as we can. I get some of the questions in on my other screen here, so that's why I'm looking to the one side sometimes. Okay. So you are trying to go from, or trying, you are going from a video production company to a company that gives people the tools they need to start on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all this, your main point of contact for those people are your YouTube channel and your website, also Instagram, isn't it?
Yes, Instagram is a big. It's kind of like the fun platform, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's like
Yeah.
you can see my behind the scenes life. It's almost like a vlog to a certain extent, my Instagram stories,
Yeah.
compared to YouTube, which is very like, I'm going to teach you something.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you like the stories format on Instagram?
I absolutely love it. I think everyone should be utilizing it. Like, I genuinely believe that the growth that I've been able to have has been
Yeah.
sustainable like in continuous, because of my activity on Instagram stories. Because I think someone finds you and they might learn something from you, but before they really, you know, that whole know, like, and trust factor element of it, they might know about you by finding you on YouTube. They might trust the opinions and stuff that you have to share, but when they actually begin to like you is when they start to know, what's your personality like, what do you do on the weekends, who do you hang out with, all those kind of things.
I totally agree. I was just thinking what if I, because I know the things you're saying, and I realize to myself that I'm quite bad at using the story function on my Instagram. So I
but
become
you're
a bit,
everywhere, so like I also tell people, like, choose one platform and stay to it. So you have, you know, that just might not be your platform. It just happens to be mine.
might be. Okay, you also but people should check out. I'll show you guys. Instant editing. For everyone that wants to just check out what you can do, here's the website of Amanda on the bottom here.
Nice.
Right down here. Okay. If we go a bit away from your company and into you, before we continue, just how is Corona and COVID and all of that stuff affecting you? Just it would be odd, I think, to not mention it at all. But
Totally.
but I don't want to spend a whole. I could spend a whole podcast just talking about it, but let's not. I'm more interested in you, but are you affected?
Yeah, so it is in Austin, it's so shelter in place, so you're not supposed to be leaving your house except for the essentials, which I think is probably the majority of the world now. And now it was just mandated, I think even yesterday, that now if you leave the house, anyone above the age of 10 is required to wear a mask. So it's now mandatory to wear a mask. It's a really weird thing. Just like business wise, I'll start there. I immediately lost money because I had a couple of clients. Like, even though I stopped doing production, I like to still kind of test the waters and try things out. So I had a couple of clients, one that I was working with on a continual basis, and one that I was just about to onboard and work with on a continual basis, and lost both of those jobs. Technically, my business model is set up to where I'm only making money whenever I launch my online course. So I launched it in January, and I'm planning to launch it again in May. And the big question there is like, okay, well, now we're in a recession. Like, what's happening? How is this going to impact things? And so I think there's just kind of there's a mental game that comes along with Corona of like, how do you address this? How do you kind of pivot your business, pivot your services? Should I be like jumping up and making a new offer for people that have to take their business from from offline to online or whatever? And then personally, it's an interesting thing because I'm part of a big family. I'm one of 4 kids, and both of my parents live in Austin. And we've been kind of quarantining, not together, but like our social life has become one another, just because it's near impossible to stay alone with 1 or 2 other people for this extended period of time. So I think that's another interesting thing socially, is like we're starting to see people form these pods, and it's like, who's in your pod? Do you trust them? Are they going to see random people? Because then they're not in your pod, you know, or whatever. So it's a really weird apocalyptic time.
Yes. It sometimes I feel like it's some post-apocalyptical zombie world where everybody's just huddling together and just waiting it out. But yeah,
So weird.
except the end of Corona, what are you looking forward to currently?
Okay, this is a great question. I am looking forward to, so I'm about to hit 100 episodes on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I'm really doing a deep dive into myself and determining, once again, like, who do I want to be online?
Yeah.
Let me move this forward so we're a little more out of the sun. Okay. Like, who do I want to be online? Do I want, and which elements have people not seen that I want to start incorporating? So that's kind of one of the things I'm excited about, is starting to kind of shift that and add more personality now that I have a following to a certain extent, right? Like, it's still starting, but I have enough to where people are saying, who is Amanda? She can teach us this stuff, but who is she? So I'm kind of excited about that next phase that's a little bit more fun and exploratory, I don't know, whatever the saying would be. And another thing I'm excited about is empowering more females to get on camera. So that's like one of the things that's starting to kind of bubble up. It's like, okay, this is, as I do these deep dives into myself and figure out who I want to be online, that's one of the big things, is helping other women realize that they can do this too, and that they should do this, because it like really changes your life in a positive way and all these different things. So
I'm going to send you a link after. I've had woman from Stavanger on. She's called Yrja. She runs a podcast called Power Ladies Podcast.
Oh, nice, cool.
You should check out at least the English episodes.
Oh, wow.
What are the things you like best about your job?
I love like, it is that empowering element of it. It's like when you send a video to someone, and this has happened since day one, you send it to them and it's just a validation to a certain extent for that person. It validates their dreams. It's like, wow, this is actually a thing. Like, it started as a cool factor to a certain extent, video, when it wasn't a necessity. Like, today it's kind of more of a necessity to a certain extent. But now it's like, they'll release something, they have a lot of fear built up about it. They're, in their mind, they're going through all of these different, self-doubt and who am I to be saying something? And the second that they have that breakthrough, that's what I love about my job, because I see it in them. I see them get excited about it, excited about the new possibilities, about, leaving mediocrity behind to a certain extent.
The transformational character of your work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or not even your work, but the transformational character of the people you impact through your work, actually. Yeah. I like
exactly.
that. Cool. What, if anything, do you dislike about your job then?
So I have been really focused on getting rid of everything that I dislike about my job. So I had so many things that I disliked when I was actually running a video production company or a video marketing company. And one of those was constantly being at the beck and call of your clients and feeling like I wasn't in control of my schedule. I hated that. And it was like, I started this business to be an entrepreneur, to run my own thing. And then it's like, I have 30 clients or 30 bosses instead of one. So that was a big part of it. And then managing was a huge part of it too. When I got subcontractors, it was like, oh, I'll get subcontractors and this will free up my time. And then
that sounds like something I would say. Yeah.
And then it doesn't, right? It's like, eats up all of your time. And I think the other part of it that was really painful was the whole creating a video for someone and then they don't know how to use it. And you have all these ideas for how they can use it, or new ideas for videos that they could be creating, and it's almost like they don't even want the results, you
Yeah,
know?
or the thing where you're almost ready to deliver, and the client says, "Yeah, could you just change the entire concept of the video?"
Yeah, I like it, except, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What's the craziest kind of rewrite you have gotten on the video? Do you have any like
Oh
horror
my
stories?
goodness. I mean, I think just in general, I don't know if I have any necessarily like specific horror stories from it, but the worst note that you can get with video is the music. I don't like the music because the music, what people don't realize is that it dictates the entire edit, at least
Yeah,
the way that I edit.
it's cut to this music.
It is. It's cut. Every single moment is cut to the beat of the song. And when you wait until the final edit to tell me that, it's like we're starting from scratch.
Hmm.
And one of the reasons that I charged hourly when I was doing video was because
Yeah.
of that. It was like, oh, well, if you want me to redo everything and charge you another 30 hours, sure.
Oh,
And that usually deferred them, a little bit,
okay.
unless they had money. And then, yeah.
I'll just tell you a small story about my brothers used to run like this cleaning company, and I helped them when I was living here on this side of the country. They were living on the other side of Norway, and one of the clients we had there was this training center, like a place where you go to work out. And I managed to get some cleaners to do the cleaning for the center, and I did the negotiation with the boss lady there, and she was like, "Ah, this is very good." And sometimes when the employees called in sick, I had to go like in the middle of the night and do all the cleaning, and
Oh my
then
gosh.
it was not the job for me for a long time, at least because I had that in addition to my other job. But she was like, "Yeah, the wall behind the treadmills. Could you also clean that wall?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think that's possible. It will be a couple of hours extra each night then." And she's like, "Extra? What? Can't they just clean it while they walk past it?" Uh, no, that's not how this works. If that's not how this works, they can just walk through your workout center and just clean everything just by walking past it.
Did
So
you say that?
yes, I did, of course, because every time a client says, "Can you just?" It's not just. It's never just.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can you just send me all the files?
No, no.
No, let me explain to you how large these files are. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you are currently getting away with everything you don't like. That's good. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. How do you get your best ideas then?
Hmm. Great
Do you have a
questions.
process?
So I have a actually one of the ways that I get my best ideas is whenever I'm driving in the car. I have,
Hmm.
on the voice memo app of my
Uh,
phone, I'm an external processor, so I'll
yeah.
talk out loud in order to know what I'm thinking. And I just hit record on the voice memo app whenever I get a moment of inspiration, and I'm like, I pretend as if I'm filming the video in that moment.
Ah, nice.
And this is a great practice for anyone that's getting comfortable on camera as well, because you get used to the time running in the
Mm.
car. So, like, I think a lot of people have anxiety around needing to fill the air and get it out as fast as possible. And then you run out of breath, and then you're just like, you know? So, I click record on my iPhone and I'll just ramble about maybe something I was listening to on a podcast or something that came up in a meditation today. And I just kind of talk about it. So, I think the best ideas come from inside yourself. And at least in taking, you have to be learning constantly in order to continuously do this. But you take what you're learning, you run it through your personal filter, and then it comes out the other side as a video topic.
Yeah. You also, in one of your videos, you said to spitball ideas or something, video ideas, you write down just what you are doing right now. I'm sitting here in front of the lights and the camera just to ruin the blank page. I really like that. How did you come up with that?
Yeah, so that's kind of become my journal exercise to a certain extent. And so I'll sit down in front of the computer. I moved from being a pen and paper person to doing it on the computer just because, we don't practice writing enough these days and my hand cramps up and I don't like doing it. So I'll sit down in front of the computer and I'll just start describing my surroundings. And it used to go into processing my emotions or whatever it was, right? But I took that same concept and applied it to business in terms of thinking of video ideas. So I know that, maybe I have an abstract idea. Like one of the ideas that's coming up for me recently that's not a flushed out idea yet is the idea of like truly defining your vision and defining who you are on paper. How do you go about doing that? So I might sit down, and that's my intention, is let me get clear on this topic. And I'll sit down and I'll just start. I'm sitting outside, there's birds chirping, which are probably annoying for the audio. And I'm just like literally just processing out loud. And then I get to the topic and I do the same thing. And I allow, there's no such thing as bad ideas. If I am sick of an idea, then I just click enter. I don't even finish, like put a period or anything, finish the thought. It's just like, okay, next thought, And then it's cool because now you have things on paper, you can restructure them, you can copy paste them, move them around, and suddenly you have 4 bullet points that make up a video.
Yeah. Do you have like a writing app or something you use, or just like notes?
I just use Google Drive.
Yeah.
And I just came up with this the other day. I have now a table of contents that I have for my journal, and I just make it's really cool. If you just like Google how to have a table of contents for Google Docs, it's so helpful. And then I can just like look through the entire year and see all of the different topics that I've brainstormed on.
Okay, let's write this down. How to have, sorry.
Yeah, no, you'll like it. I was telling my boyfriend the other day, I was like, look, I'm like so type A. I'm so excited about having a table of contents for my journal.
Cool. What is the best idea you ever had?
Starting the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think just like the idea of, and it's almost, it's weird because I know so many people that I talk to, they're like, I wanted to start a YouTube channel for 6 years. I've wanted to start one for 2 years, or whatever. And it like, you don't even know where this desire comes from, but it just comes from inside you. And I almost feel like it's like an intuitive, like some greater power is telling us that we need to like share this information with other people to a certain extent. And so I think just learning to put one step in front of the other and go when you're not super clear and push forward even though no one's watching or anything like that. I guess it's not really an idea, but in terms of the best move I've ever made, I guess. I don't know.
And on the other side of that scale, what's the worst idea you had?
Worst idea I ever had. Probably, well, I don't know. It's like the best and worst, but I stopped my client work way before I had money coming in from the strategy component. And that was stressful. Last year was really stressful as I like stopped doing clients and was building my online course.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Because it was like, 6 years of revenue that I was just like, yeah, I'm done with that.
But how do you find it in yourself to just stop that? Did you just, I need more time to do the other thing here, or was it like, no, I'm done. I just need to.
It was deciding that we don't have any time other than the present moment.
Mhm.
And that if we continuously make up excuses of why we're not doing the things that we want to be doing, then we'll never really get there. And for me, that was taking time to actually build an online course that would get me to that whole not having to trade time for money, and also scale my impact. Because as an individual, if I'm constantly fishing for people, right? The whole, like, do you know the analogy of either teaching people to fish or fishing for them?
Yeah.
So
Have you heard the other analogy there?
what
If
is it?
if you teach a man to light a fire, he will be warm or something. But if you set the man on fire, he will be warm for the rest of his life.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's kind of funny. I like that. Maybe I'll
yeah.
use that.
I think it's from Batman. I don't know. Don't
Oh,
remember now.
I could see that. I could
It
see that.
sounds like something the Joker would say. But yeah. Okay. 3 things you can't manage without.
Working out. Is that a thing? That might be
Yeah, I
more of an
think so.
action.
Yeah, but workouts is a thing.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
working
so.
out is huge for me. It's like my sanity. Um 3 things I can't manage without. Come here, boy. Here's our puppy.
Hmm.
I would say, okay, so working out, probably obviously my camera.
Yeah,
I love having my camera. And friends, just like a community of people. Like, it's so key for me to be able to have people to talk to, hang with, other like-minded individuals who are entrepreneurial, that get the game that I'm playing.
yeah.
That's so big for me, to go on. So a lot of it's like my mental game. Meditation might be another one. So maybe working out, meditating, and community.
How do you meditate?
There's no way to meditate wrong. So I sit down and I'm big into breath work. So breathing
Mhm.
in and out. And I do it through my nose always. So just like breathing in and out through my nose. I might count 10 breaths in and out. And
Mhm.
that's just getting my mind to stop thinking. And then I do something called box breathing, where I'll breathe in for 4, I hold at the top for 4, and I go out for 4, hold at the bottom for 4. And I just repeat that process maybe 10 times or something. And then by then, my mind has kind of learned to be kind of a little bit more quiet. So I
Mhm.
might just try not doing any sort of process like that. So I just sit, and if I find my mind racing, say I have like a YouTube idea or a business idea, or, or
Yeah.
whatever is going on, it's like, okay, you don't need to write this down right now. Just let it go. Just breathe in, breathe out, and get your mind back to be steady. And then just continuously coming back. And typically when we're not in quarantine, I I have a workout, and then I go into the sauna and I meditate in the sauna, and it's like
Ah,
my favorite thing to do, because
yeah.
it's like you're getting 2 benefits at once.
Yeah.
But I've had to like kind of figure out, it's harder to meditate on the couch, but lately I've just been doing it. So
Yeah. iPhone.
iPhone.
Okay. Not even a question. Okay, good. Have you been that all the time, all along, or when did you hop on the iPhone train?
I hopped on the iPhone train my freshman year of college. I think it was like the second semester. My roommate had an iPhone and she was constantly on it. And it was like, I always made fun of her for it. You know, I'm like, it's not any better, blah, blah, blah.
Ah, yeah. And then you tried it?
And then I got on it and I was like, and these were the days that like, I might have even flipped from a flip phone kind of to the iPhone. So I think the thing at the time that was appealing about it was that it could have music in addition to calling or texting. You know, it was a very minimal sell at that point.
Yeah, but I remember because I was really downplaying the iPhone, and because I used to work with like phones, so I had this like big Nokia communicator, which is like a flip phone only in the long side of the phone because it was like huge with a full QWERTY keyboard and everything.
Yeah, the ones that like flip up, like
Yeah,
slide up. Yes.
and I was like, man, it doesn't even have 3G. It's such a bad phone. And I was almost angry at people that wanted an iPhone because it came out in the US long before it came to Norway. So I had like clients or customers that went to the US for other work purposes, and then they came back with an iPhone. It's like, oh my God, you're so dumb. And he was like, okay, do you want to try it? And I tried it, and I was like, okay, I see there's something different about this phone because everything was so intuitive. It was so, and this was the first iPhone, but it was so otherly. I don't know if that's a word, but it is now.
It makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It's just so different, so innovative.
Yeah.
There's a truck driving by, so if there's sound, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps to know what the sounds are.
What is your favorite apps on the phone then?
Favorite apps? Trello.
Yeah.
I love Trello.
For task managing.
Mostly for ideas. So coming
Okay.
back to the ideas, like whenever I get an idea, it has to go in one place or else it's gonna disappear.
I totally agree.
Then other apps that I like, gosh, I almost feel boring in the app world because I do go on Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
You know, what other apps? I use Evernote a lot.
Yeah. So Instagram, Evernote, and Trello.
Probably. It's kind of boring.
Where can and should people follow you?
YouTube for sure, and Instagram. Those are the two. And I would highly recommend getting on my newsletter. I know, like, you know, if you want to get started with video, I think the best way to start is getting my quick start guide to video. It's a 3-part video series. It's going to teach you exactly how to choose your topics, which is one of the hardest things to do, and then how to write your explainer statement and how to write your script. And if you sign up for that, then you'll naturally get on my newsletter. So I highly recommend that. You can just go to amandahorvath.com to get on that. YouTube, Instagram, and let's be friends.
Cool. Before we go, I have 10 quick questions.
Cool.
What's your favorite word?
Favorite word? That's hard.
Yep.
Intuition.
What's your least favorite word?
Probably probably the word that describes a woman with a P.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Intuition. It's repetitive, but like listening and getting internal motivation and hearing. I just think that for me, it's like tapping into something greater and then being able to create from that place. That way it's not me having to like force the solution or make it happen or anything like that.
Yeah. What turns you off?
Running behind in my content calendar. If I have to shoot and edit a video today, it's like, it's so annoying.
What's your favorite curse word?
Probably shit.
What noise or sound do you love?
Noise or sound? Oming. You know, when
Like,
they ohm in a yoga class? Yes, I love it.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Nails on a chalkboard.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
These make you think. They're fast, but they make you think. I always said if I wasn't a film major, I would have been a psychology major. Economics is also an interest of mine, so maybe something related to those.
What profession would you not have?
A lot. Anything that, gosh, that's so hard. My immediate mind went to like all the dirty jobs, you know, like those kind of things.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at pearly gates?
You did well.
Oh, that's nice. And with those heavenly words from God, pretend at least, I would like to thank you so much for joining me here today. It was so nice to talk to you.
You too. Thank you so much.
If you have anything you would like to say to the listeners, this will also come out as a podcast in Spotify and Apple Podcaster and all of that. And now's your if there's anything, sign up for your email newsletter.
Yeah, I think just in general, like if you're interested in video, you're feeling blocked, you want to get started or anything, just plug into the different channels that I offer. Do that quick start guide to video. Just go to amandahorvath.com to do it, get started. I will be launching my online course again soon, probably in May. I have to figure out the exact date, but probably mid-May. And when I'm doing that, I accompany it with lots of different trainings. So definitely be sure to, whether you end up joining the course or not, check out the free trainings associated with it. And you'll know if it's a right fit for you.
Thank you so much to everyone else. Snakkes plutselig. Ha det bra.